Wisdom Wednesday. Thank you so much for tuning in and for choosing to spend some of your time with me. I'm Maria Milagros, and this is a little space I like to carve out to share different tips, tools, techniques, nuggets, stories, anecdotes, whatever it takes to get myself, us, you, both individually and collectively, to move the needle to one level, 1 degree closer to health and happiness, whatever that means for where we are and who we are right now at this moment in our lives. I am a personal growth and development expert. I am a keynote speaker. I am a coach, and I'm also an author, and I'm working on my second book. But that's not what we're here to talk about today. Today, we're here to talk about stress management. So during the month of June, that's going to be our anchor, is going to be stress management. And I'm going to approach it a little bit differently this time, where I usually, or most times, you hear people talking about different physical things that we can do. My focus is going to be on different shifts that we can create in our mindset to help reduce and or eliminate stress. And let's just dive right in. So, of course, when we are not taking care of our physical bodies, our body is literally not capable of holding room for keeping itself balanced as much as possible, and the addition of stress hormones, right? So the more optimized that we are in our minds and in our bodies, the more optimal there's room for us to handle additional stress that's going to come along with everyday life. Stress in and of itself is not a bad thing. When you're on a roller coaster that you chose to stand in line for and you chose to get on, and you're going up, 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 and you feel that response in your stomach, and maybe sometimes people feel like their heart is in their throat, or maybe their stomach is in their throat, that physical response is technically stress. Now, it's good stress because you signed up for it, stood in line for it, waited for it. You want the rush and the ride of the ebb and the flow of the roller coaster, and yet it is still stress. So I like to think of, as much as possible, stress as information. When we are connected to and aware of how our body is responding, and I can then say, oh, whenever I get this feeling, I know that this feeling equals stress, which means I know how to, and because I know how to handle stress, I can handle this moment, calm my body first, right? Pay attention to what's happening in my central nervous system, calm that first, which then creates clarity in my mind, and then using these new kind of mindsets, move through this space and this opportunity, this experience, whatever you want to call it, right? Okay, I'm trying to cram this in to a short amount of time. So I know that was already a lot of information, but stay with me. When we take care of our physical body in the most basic way, meaning we are drinking enough water, which means our brains are not dehydrated. We are moving our bodies, whether it's a 10-minute walk or an hour-long class or a dance jam, whatever it is. When we are moving our bodies regularly, we're releasing pent-up energy. When we are eating healthy foods that give us the caloric sustenance that we need, our body is not feeling like it's going to be malnourished, and it's reducing the physical stress on the body. So that's a bonus. When we are getting fresh air, and getting vitamin D, which is necessary for the body to carry so many vitamins through the body, right? Fresh air is just good for the mind, it's good for the spirit, and the vitamin D is good for other things that are happening in your body and in your systems. And when we are sleeping enough, whatever that means for us, it is imperative that we learn about who we are as people and what works for us, not what works for everybody else. When I started my self-journey process, 20 years ago, right? More than that. I started measuring. I would try a thing that people were like, you should try this. And I would try it. And if in 30 days I could measure significant or increase in growth and ease and feeling better, I'm like, well, I'm going to ride this train a little longer and see if this is it. And sometimes you kind of tweak it along the way. And then there are some things that I would try and be like, no, this is not for me. This is not my thing. I could feel it right away. But the reason why I could feel it is because I understand my body and I'm connected to my body. We have to be willing to have a relationship with, listen to, and understand our bodies. Ooh, that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day. Anyways, so when we are providing ourselves with those basic human needs, right? Drinking enough water, getting movement, getting in our fresh air and our vitamin D, sleeping enough, and then eating enough healthy calories throughout the day, we are optimizing our physicality. And because our physicality and our psychology are interwoven, we are increasing our mind's ability to handle what comes at us. right? Okay, so we're going to put those 5 things, da, 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 right there, boom. I'll add them to the list below. We'll put those 5 things there. If you find that one of those is like, I really need to work on that, then I would recommend allowing that to be your intention for this month. For the course of June, say, I'm going to drink more water. Here's how I'm going to do it, and here's when I'm going to do it. And then here are the supports that I need to put those in place, right? What are you going to do? What's the intention? How are you going to do it? When are you going to do it? And what are the supports that you need? For instance, if you say, I definitely need to drink more water because I recognize I get a lot of headaches. And of course, when you get headaches, your brain is not optimally ready to deal with emotion. So anything that comes along, you either take it really personal, or you're crying all the time, or you feel like it's overwhelming. And a lot of it could have to do with not meeting our basic human needs, right? So let's say it's drink water. I've decided my intention for this month is I'm going to drink more water. How am I going to do that? I am going to choose a water bottle, and that water bottle is going to become my best friend. I'm going to take it room to room everywhere I go. And then when am I going to drink? Whenever available. When I first started increasing my own water intake, I would set an alarm while I was working. This is when I was working at a school. I would set an alarm, and every hour on the hour, that alarm would go off. And what I would do is the alarm would go off, and it would say, like, do 10 jumping jacks, move around for a minute, and drink some water. So I would take a couple swigs of water, do my 10 jumping jacks, building in to my day a minute of movement and drinking, which then maximized my productivity, made my brain feel better, made me feel more connected and aware of my body. And over time, I started to recognize very quickly, like, if I already think that I need water, if we already think that we need water and feel like, oh, I need water, I'm parched, we're already dehydrated, right? We're already ebbing into dehydration. So I started to pick up on the cues from my own body going, oh, I need to make sure I'm drinking more water. And then I would always have water readily available. I have one right there. I have one right there, right? Always have water readily available. And then what are the supports that you need? For me, it was the alarm. Having the alarm go off. I tried to have accountability people, but the real of the real is, even if they fall off, I can't use that as an excuse. I have to decide what's best for me. And so I have to figure out how to create supports around myself. And for me, that was the alarm. So again, think about what it is that you're going to set for your intention. What are one of those 5 basic human needs that you're going to handle? How are you going to set that? Which of those are you going to choose to set as an intention to increase for this month? What are you going to do? How are you going to do it? When are you going to do it? And what supports do you need to make sure that that happens, right? Okay. Some people are like, oh, I have to go out and buy a brand new water bottle. You don't have to. You could probably have a cup and a gallon nearby at all times, right? And a lot of businesses and schools now, or at least the ones that I've been to, they have those water filters right in the wall. You carry that gallon, you plug that joint in, you get your refill, pour your cup, keep it moving, right? There are ways. No excuses. Don't act like I have to wait until I buy this thing and then I can start. Don't do that to yourself. Just work with what you have right now. And then when something better comes along, or you're able to, get something nicer or whatever, do that. But start where you are right now. Okay, so that's there. And then the one other thing that's mindset related that I want to talk about is this idea of life being challenging and change being scary. Because the reality is, at the end of the day, change is coming and challenges are going to happen. If we start adjusting our mindset to acknowledge that change is a coming and challenges are going to happen, then we become better prepared versus, why is this happening to me? Why is everything changing? Because change is always coming. And why is this challenge? I always said, because challenges are always on their way, right? Oh, okay. So now when a change happens, oh, it's change. I knew that this was coming. Change is always coming. Oh, it's a challenge. Challenges always happen. Okay. And now, because it doesn't feel like the worst thing ever, because I've prepared myself for the reality that this is life, this is what it is, I'm better equipped to access whatever information or tools that I have, because when we feel stress and panic, the front part of our brain, the frontal lobe, will shut down in an attempt to protect itself from too much cortisol, which is a stress hormone. So the front of the brain is like, no thank you, closing the gates. And when it does, you don't have access to decision-making skills, right? Or at least you don't have access to making better or healthier decisions, right? So it closes off. When we instead go, oh yeah, change happens and challenges are always going to come. That's just part of life. It keeps that open because your cortisol, your stress hormone, is not increasing. And so because it's not increasing, that part of your brain stays open. So then when you see the change, you go, yeah, normal part of life. Let's plot twist it and keep it moving. Or you are able to see the challenge as an opportunity, and you're like, how can I use my gifts, my skills, my blessings, my opportunities, my education, my experiences, and or my community to deal with this, right? But we can't do that if we're not taking care of our basic human needs, optimizing as much as possible, whatever it means for this moment, what's happening in our bodies, so that we are taking better care of what's happening in our minds, making our minds more open and available to problem solving and being solution oriented. Boom, that's it. That's all I got for you. It's long enough. That's your Wednesday nugget. If you know someone who can benefit from it, please share it. If you haven't already, subscribed to my channel. And what I would love is that if you decide to pick something for this month in terms of your basic human needs, put it in the comments. Let it be known publicly so that there's a sense of accountability, right? And then maybe someone else will say, oh, me too. Let's check in with each other, because I've had that happen a couple times before too. So let me know, let us know collectively what it is that you're going to choose if you want, and make an affirmation or a statement for yourself, or a mantra rather, that says, I am aware that change is a part of life. I am capable of dealing with change. I know that because I am here and I have overcome 100% of the change that has occurred in my life. I know that because I'm here. I can do challenges. I know that because I'm here, right? And just like write some affirmations, some mantras, some reinforcing stories for yourself about the reality that change and challenges are coming, and we are capable. You are capable. I believe in you. Pick something. Take care of your body, which is going to take care of your mind, which is going to change your life, create less stress, more ease, more ebb and flow in a smooth and kind of way. All right. I'm sending you light and love. There's nothing you can do about it. Peace.